50 Cent T and King Harris are currently at odds over which has the internet in a frenzy. In the middle of the chaos, people are now questioning what they thought was true about King Harris. There has been a lot of online discussion over the battle between 50 Cent and King Harris. And some of the things that have surfaced during this conflict are undoubtedly things that King would have preferred to keep private. Let's look at how this all started and what 50 Cent said about folk speaking. Everything was destroyed by the VI. You to understand why 50 Cent and King Harris are currently at conflict over song. One must understand where it all started. It also started with an occasion that was meant to be a celebration. T and 50 Cent fought a versus combat that never happened. T has said that due to what happened with their potential, T number 50 Cent's alleged conflict with Verzu is no longer respected. T described the match that, in his opinion, ought to have happened in a social media post from co-host Gilly Doy from a future $1 million worth of game show. He said that it was about honoring each other's catalog and that he and 50 had talked about it while promoting a few gigs together while touring Los Angeles. The exciting part starts at this point. T explained that he had talked about the topic with 50. The Atlanta rapper stated years ago that the musicians had reached a deal whereby 50 would respond when T made the idea public. But when T mentioned the possibility of a virus, he claims 50 was confused. That baffled T, despite having met with the man, discussed the idea, and planned the rollout. 50 was acting as if he didn't know what was going on. The two were actually discussing non-musical topics during a meeting in Los Angeles, according to T.I. So it wasn't a random yell. 50 and T were doing business with each other. They were pitching TV series and films. During the era, the idea of a virus was also brought up, and 50 was on board until he wasn't. T. claims that this is because Trap Pioneer accused PFI of dodging a versus battle against him during a Nightcap Live episode earlier this month. T didn't hold back as he was present on the program alongside Shannon Sharp and Chad Asino. 50 doesn't want to smoke. He claimed that when he called him out, 50 ducked. Now, song, if you are familiar with 50 Cent, you know that he is sensitive to criticism. Instead of adopting the strategy I suggested, he covertly agreed to it. Request 50 tips that were turned down. He began mocking the Atlanta rapper on social media by sharing an old Crime Stoppers commercial. In typical 50 Cent fashion, in a 2008 video, the rapper captioned T's court testimony. When a man was accused of killing his friend, he said, "I know Atlanta pick and choose who they support." That 50 Cent is textbook. But he didn't immediately respond by blocking. He responds contentedly. He locates old photos, movies, interviews, and posts them to Instagram, leaving the rest to the internet. The remainder was taken care of by leisure and the internet. Fifth replied on Instagram by cautioning against mentioning his name. Tip King was then referred to as a rat in the comments section of another post. That Rat King, the comment, was hilarious. Rat is one of the worst labels you can get in hip-hop. Therefore, start a fire. I responded in writing that I was not going to ignore that. There is only one of us in the real world, yet you are making fun of my name. You can view my transcript online, and you are aware that I correctly completed your papers. Your explanations are meaningless. Get your ass in the box, you soft son, or STFU, and live in fear. I don't respect you anymore. At that same moment, the match was formally lighted. Trade the disagreement over a versus became a full-fledged quarrel at that point. T was inquiring about 50's character. 50 was questioning T Street credentials, but neither man was giving up. But neither of them expected the next participant in the conversation to be King Harris, T's own son. And when King got involved in this dispute, all changed. As he escalated his conflict with T, 50 Cent took a single step that fundamentally changed the situation. He went after Tay's wife. A new dispute is sparked by the social back and forth between 50 Cent, Tycast 50, and King Harris' son. I keep saying keep my name out of your mouth. The business tycoon replies, "All right." Tiny Harris was 50 in reaction to a controversial photo of Tay's wife. Cent's speciality is hitting below the belt. He didn't intend to pursue Tay's profession or music at that time. He was going after his family, and in the Harris home, boundaries are not crossed. Following the publication of a photo of Tay's wife, Tiny Harris, by 50 Cent with a warning, the tension returned as Tay tried to keep his name out of his tongue. The message immediately attracted online attention, and Ty King Harris, the son, responded. Key Harris entered the T and 50 Cent feud on Sunday, February 22nd. After the billionaire sent T an Instagram post that featured a photo of Tip's wife, Tiny Harris, singing, 50 would add a caption to the image. King would reply to 50's post with Tiny Harris ready to fight and look terrible. King's comment was direct following S warning. "Where is your mom?" According to King, King was going right for the jugular there. He knew that 50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson, had died. He also deliberately aggravated that wound by asking where your mother was. But King didn't finish there. He shared something on Instagram stories and went on a rant. He said that 50 was posting about his mother despite the fact that she was dead, referring to her as a legend, and he would say this right in front of 50. Next, King Harris shared a message on his Instagram story, along with, "I took a photo of a headstone before writing this. Your mommy is where? He also shared a picture of a gravestone bearing Sabrina Jackson's name and a message regarding 50. Now, that degree of contempt is unmatched even by the internet. Halted because sharing a picture of someone's grave online and mentioning their departed mother is improper. While some thought King went too far, others thought he was defending his family. Sent has, based on his last Instagram post, Sabrina Jackson's remarks were disregarded by King Harris, who added an image of the popular cartoon frog meme as the post's description. That's the problem with 50 Cent. He's not sentimental. He doesn't get angry. He starts to think strategically. 1050's answer of LOL suggests that he will be coming back with more VA. That frog meme was bothering him. There, he was filling the chamber. King Harris used 50's past disputes to defend his mother on Instagram. The consequences of his shooting in 2000, past claims of domestic violence and other problems. King was looking for whatever he could find in 50. He was looking over the documents. He was discussing a 50 Cent domestic abuse lawsuit from 2013. Cent was tried for domestic abuse in 2013. King uploaded a photo of himself in court along with the caption, "You just put pressure on women. Bring that smoke to the chimney." King threw everything he owned at the wall. He was trying to alter the narrative so that 50 would seem to be the villain. But here's the issue. For more than 20 years, 50 Cent has been embroiled in musical disputes. He has been at odds with JRULE. He has been at conflict with Rick Ross. There have been arguments between him and Diddy. In addition to 50 Cent is at odds with many of his peers, including Diddy, Benino, Ja Rule, and others. In each of those feuds, 50 Cent has picked as the one thing his opponent does not want to be publicly shown, and he has attacked it. King Harris thus unintentionally encountered a trap when he entered this combat. 50C was going to do more than simply clap back. He was going to create receipts that would fully attach. After all, King's personal life. If there's one thing you can count on from 50 Cent, it's the inclusion of other people's families. This is not a recent development. This pattern has been recorded. The hitmaker from IND Dog Club has previously done this. Performed at rappers' homes. Last year, Memphis rapper Finesse received a similar insult twice. Reports state that he was not supporting his mother through monetarily on Instagram. 50 Cent wrote about it as well. 50 Cent has been doing this for 4 years. He doesn't only go after the person he disagrees with about music. He goes for their company, their connections, their family, and their reputation. He chases everything, including music, and he did so alongside the Harris family. 50 Cent proceeded to mock King and Tiny Harris on Monday, February 23rd, by sharing a video from the 50WTF program in which Theo hosts ridiculed both Harris family members. The reality, the pivotal moment in the relationship was, since 50 was no longer only publishing his own remarks. He was endorsing what other people had said about King and Tiny. He was making sure that the Harris family was the subject of online discourse. T's family has been involved in an intense internet dispute with 50 Cent. The genesis of the issue appears to be the two rappers' uncalled Verzu fight. At this point, King Harris started to feel uncomfortable since musician 50 Cent started to discuss King's personal life after concentrating on King specifically. Furthermore, King Harris's upbringing, on from infancy, the camera, and have been in the spotlight. King Harris, the son of rapper T and R&B performer Tiny, has spent most of his early years in the spotlight because of his songs, viral videos, and growing social media fan bases. King is no longer with Thea's own reputation while staying out of the shadow of his parents. Harris, a famous American musician, was born in Atlanta, Georgia, August 25, 2004. His father, often known as Tip or T. is a well-known American rapper, singer, and songwriter. He is also an entrepreneur, record producer, and performer. His mother is a gifted vocalist and songwriter in addition to being a member of the R&B vocal group X Escape. King has appeared on T and Tiny, The Family Hustle on VH1 since he was a small boy. Every single one of his lives has been documented for the whole public to view. This suggests that a lot of stuff is accessible, including a lot of moments and video snippets that may be misconstrued or exploited against him. Furthermore, 50 Cent is the kind of person that will take advantage of such chances and transform them into weapons. For 20 years, he is the kind of person who agitates his fiercest enemy. He is the kind of person who would work with DoorDash to make fun of an inmate. That's exactly what he did to Jim Jones. In February 2026, he shared on Instagram a video of opponent Jim Jones aggressively kicking down a corridor door. As a result, everyone was still recalling when 50 concentrated on King Harris. The 1950s playbook knew that things would become ugly, and they did. The December 2025 Blueface incident, furthermore, 50 played into that narrative in a way that led people to start drawing parallels. The incident began when Blueface addressed comments on social media that claimed his partner, Nakira, resembled King Harris in response to continuous rumors about her. After the rapper claimed that his girlfriend resembled Tay's son, Blueface accepted the comparison. King Harris and Blueface got into an online argument. "You look like King Harris, my underscore brother." Proceed, Blueface wrote. When King remarked, "There's nothing manly about you. Lil bro, please don't make it weird." Blueface instantly attacked his masculinity, and the internet followed suit. Following that song, Blueface tweeted, "The implication was clear. King Harris is my type of boss." And when 50 Cent brought up this issue once more during his altercation with the Harris family, all those old videos and comments came back into the chronology. Every screenshot of a video started to appear on the internet. 50 Cent was depending on the fact that King's masculinity being questioned. He doesn't always need to express it himself. People merely need to be directed by. The remainder is handled by the internet. The majority of people from late 2025 until 2050, the Blueface and King Harris affair was forgotten. After the confrontation with the Harris family, it was brought back into the public eye. In a live broadcast video that went popular online, Blueface doubled down while standing next to Akira. "Everyone says my underscore looks like King. Do a little bit, baby," he said. "Harris, correct?" King Harris responded to the situation with composure. In all candor, King used complete framing as a negative reaction to Akira's reply. He said, "I'm more like weirded out than angry. Why would you say your girl resembles a guy that underscore don't sit?" Blueface asked, continuing to make fun of King's appearance and discourse, describing him as little and fair-skinned, and asserting that there was nothing masculine about him. For amusement, Blueface then drew his girl into it. "Come into the bed, King Harris." Baby Blueface told Nah in jest, his new girlfriend is Akira, with your little petite, Queen Harris. "I like the way you put it. Hold on a minute. Ow. Hold on for a moment." Millions of people saw that video when it became viral, and the story that surfaced questioned King Harris' manhood in public through music. The narrative comments on the internet, which ranged from "I don't look like no girl" to "I don't look like no King Harris," had replied to Blueface, persisted despite King's polite response. Second, "Brother, why in the world would you say that? I'm more scared than angry." While some fans supported King and believed the connection was odd, others agreed with Blueface and stated they could see the resemblance. "You state that you're the woman appears to be a man. Don't sit on that side. People would rather entertain the LGBT narrative than recognize the resemblance." According to one Instagram user, some referred to the entire subject as odd, while others claimed it was inappropriate. You can tell exactly where the internet took this by looking at that kind of comparison. Appearances were no longer the only factor. It has to do with sexuality and masculinity. These are the types of stories that are almost antiquates, that are almost unstoppable once they get going, particularly if someone like 50 Cent chooses to utilize them as weapons. But 50 Cent never directly addressed them. That's not how 50 operates. Rather, he reposts songs from podcasts where listeners are discussing King Harris's sexual orientation and making provocative posts. He directs the conversation in a particular direction by using memes and emoticons. He then lets the internet take care of the rest. This is exactly what happened in this case. The internet did what it always does, reposting content songs that contributed to the story's revival. Additionally, King quotes from the Family Hustle show and old social media posts started to come up. When 50 Cent unlocks that door, that's what takes place. They started re-examining each piece of song, interview, appearance, every interaction. And since the person in a relationship is the one who is most directly affected by these kinds of rumors, they started building a case that might or might not be based in reality. Everyone began to wonder what King Harris's girlfriend thought of everything, except from King himself. Of this alongside him, for many years, the public has been aware of King Harris's personal life. Although his current relationship appears to be more solid, he has experienced his fair share of public affairs and viral dating rumors. His child's mother is an Instagram celebrity, as is his girlfriend and musician. The musician Jenny Anana Epps is well known for her viral presence and bold attitude. By attending their baby shower together, the couple recently revealed their relationship to the public. In 2025, Janie Epps will turn 20, making her around the same age as King Harris. The two have been spotted together in both public and private settings, sometimes flaunting matching ensembles on social media, and other times erasing each other's accounts entirely. Their relationship has experienced both mystery and visibility. The latter is quite important. Fans have noticed a trend in which they have removed each other from social media. When the 50 Cent feud started, people immediately went to Jenna's social media to look for any signs of danger, and the legendary tales of King's masculinity started to reappear. Although King Harris is not yet a dad, are the images from the baby shower proof that King and Jean were dating and beginning a family. Now, though, the question is whether the pressure was genuine. King and his unidentified partner were expecting their first child. A prior report claims that this conflict and the comments and posts made online have affected the relationship. Because, let's be honest, when you're a young woman in your early 20s and everything on the internet is trashing your boyfriend, even if none of it is truth, a mere fact that he is having those chats leads conflict in any partnership. Stress is brought on by aspects of his masculinity and sexuality. There have already been indications of instability in King's relationship, and when talks are amplified by someone with a platform like 50 Cent, the tension rises. A person having millions of fans who focuses on using music to improve people's lives. Sad via social media. His sporadic social media presence with Janaea suggests that their relationship has experienced challenges. Furthermore, 50 Cent's attacks data lines with King's approaching fatherhood. Alternatively, the fact that Tiny Harris and Janaea have not yet made any public comments on the matter has made the issue even more complex. However, it is common for a spouse in a relationship to publicly support their partner when they are being assaulted on the internet. Because Janot hasn't done that during this particular feud, supporters are closely monitoring the feud, which is primarily restricted to social media, to see if it will worsen or get better. What began as a back and forth between two seasoned rappers has developed into a family. A disagreement, illustrating how easily online discussions can escalate into something far more severe. T isn't keeping quiet, though, as he releases a new song and promotes his Kill the King album. The two began insulting each other on Instagram a few days after. Refused to give up on his Queen's opponent. On Sunday, February 22nd, the rapper from Atlanta posted another tape that appeared on Atlanta's Hot 1079 on Monday, February 23rd, intensifying his diss tune war. The song war, as 50 Cent and T's conflict was published by Tip, raged on, and T is now making songs about it. Using it as fuel for his last T isn't being considerate. Making a 5085 dispatcher call is basically branding. This appears to be a 1,000-second preview of a longer version of War that could be featured on T.I.'s final album, Kill the King, which will be released later in 2026. In his altercation with 50, King Harris calls him a computer warrior and accuses him of being a snitch. He taps that he has jail documents with identities from the 1950s, a startling claim that targets the gangster brand of the 1950s. After his altercation with Christian King Combs, Diddy's son. In 2026, the mogul targeted the child of a rapper. This is another trend where 50 Cent targets both musicians and their children. King Harris is now being pursued by BMES, and in both cases, he recognized the one thing that would hurt the most and exploited it. Actually, nobody or anybody outside of King Harris's private life knows what is going on between him and Jean, whether it's affecting their relationship, whether all that is known is that 50 Cent has done what he always does, which is to take a music-related problem and turn it into a personal one, whether she is supporting him or has decided that the strain is too much. Additionally, he turned a disagreement over a non-existent rival into a family disaster. King Harris, a 20-year-old who is the son of one of the most well-known rappers in Atlanta history, is currently embroiled in a 50 Cent spat with T.E. due to insults and trolls on social media about a disagreement between his father and one of the smartest minds in hip-hop. 50 Cent will never give up. Whether King Harris's girlfriend broke up with him is not the question. Instead, it seems that there won't be a hatchet burial for this antagonistic relationship anytime. If history is any guide, they are still at odds with Versus challenge. So 50 Cent harm isn't always instantaneous. As a result, the question is whether any connection can survive the level of public scrutiny that comes with being under his watch. Every member of the Harris family is being impacted by a rivalry that started over at Eve. Occasionally can take weeks or even months, but it's always expensive. Headstones are being posted by King Harris. Tiny Harris is not saying anything. Designs are being produced by T, the young woman at the center of it all. Andia is in a song by 50 Cent, who has built a living by spotting the exerting pressure to a pressure point until something breaks. Is it a circumstance that nobody would like to be in? One thing is certain, this is far from over. Only time will tell. So far, that's the narrative. Please let me know what you think about all of this in the comments area. Do you think King went too far in raising a mother in her 50s? Do you think that King's alliance can last because 50 went too far in chasing little and carrying out all of it? Let your ideas run wild in the dot below. Furthermore, if you haven't clicked the subscribe button now, since this story is expanding every hour and you don't want to ignore what happens.